Good morning. Ooh, that's good. Gotta drink it while it's hot. There we go. Let's see. All right, I think I can let go of this. Loop. Let's put a little pattern here. Hey, Craig. Oh, Peter Geist. Hey there. gang. I'm experimenting. Be with you in a minute. There we go. Good morning, everybody. Let's see. Who's here? Let's see. Craig. Okay, said hi to Craig earlier. Peter Geist. Good morning. Gazinagons. Actually woke up early. Cool. Robert Penway. Hey there. Maltzite. Hello, everyone. Nice. Welcome. Robert, are you new? Penway doesn't... Sounds familiar, but I don't know. But welcome. Kleptophonics, good morning. Don't often see you, man. How's it going? Let's see. That's all right. They get better over the course of the month, I think. But so you just come in at the end and catch the good ones. Let's see. Seem to be waking up in the Australian outback today, Gazinagons. You'll have to extemporate on that. Grace, good morning. Oh my God. The morning I make myself some Yorkshire tea, Grace appears. Is that like a summoning sort of thing? If I make Yorkshire tea, which I own because of you, you appear. Nice. You like the marimba sound, Robert? Yeah, I was experimenting with some new sounds today. We'll talk about those in a minute. I'll go through, I've got a bunch of new things in there. I got some Tuvan throat singers in there and a few other things. Hey, Steve, how's it going? Let's see. Andy, good morning. Still can't see straight. Okay. That's all right, Gazinagons. Let's see. Don, good morning. And let me kill this metronome. Hey, Lindiert. You have been, because I've struggled with your name before, I think. So, good morning. DP Modern Muso, good morning. Let's see. I think, hey, Wookie, how's it going? Fancy meeting you all here. I know. I hope the jamming was entertaining. Don says, great jamming. Thank you, Don. Let's see, any other names? Hey, Doug, Mr. Carmichael. You like the drums? That is just a stock loop that I threw in there. I did not program those drums myself. I am not a drum programmer. I mean, I try. If it's like for an EP release, I do the drums. But if it's jamming, I just drop a loop in. I'll talk about that. Morning, Kieran. Let's see. Boy, there's a bunch of you here today. Kieran. Kleptophonics is jamming along. What is the BPM? It's 81. So, and we are in B minor. Yes. Let me jump along here. You guys are saying hello to each other. Yorkshire tea for the win. Got a brew going there too, obviously. Yes. Robert Penway says, I once commented on one of your synthwave tracks. Okay, because Penway is distinctive. Very cool. I'm at the bottom of the chat now. Great. All right, so let's talk. So what is it, day 25? Day 26. Day 26 of January. Only a few days left. We're in the home stretch. You have to drink it while it's still warm, and it's rapidly cooling. All right, so what are we doing here? Well, I'm just going to go through the sounds. A couple things I want to talk about very briefly. Oh, let me get a drone going. No, not the. We'll get to those. We'll just drone. Let's see. We'll just make a very short pattern here, and we'll do this. There we go. Let that run in the background. Yeah. So you thought you heard didgeridoo? There we go. Didgeridoo. No, that's a Tuvan throat singer. We'll get to that. Okay. We'll talk about it. Throat singers. They're cool. They were new like 15 years ago, and now they're all over the place. And now there's like variations thereon. People learned how to do Tuvan throat singing, the technique, and now there's tons of sample libraries about it. But so what are we doing? So I am constantly changing this around. So now this lead that's coming out of here, this is the Supersaw lead that I've been using all month, has a few more variants in it that we can move through. So you're familiar with, if you've been watching, the soft horn. Let me turn the ducking back on. There we go. Right? Sort of Moog lead, like a 3 oscillator octave run. This one, that pluck. These are all coming out of Omnisphere. That's a synced saw. But now, instead of just having 4 presets and controlling them from the jelly beans over here, I've just got it on a dial on the push because honestly it works better. So these are things you'll hear over the next few days. And the 2 days ago I brought in this synth brass that I really enjoyed, so now I've got a bunch of synth brass in here. Anyway, those are all out of Omnisphere. So I've got 2 VSTs and the rest are hardware synths, in case you're wondering. So we have, I have 8 instruments loaded total as far as tracks or track count is concerned. If you have a question for me, try and tag me at the beginning or put a big capital Q. Okay. That way I'll see it and try and answer it. And if it's a really important question and I miss it, just say it again. Right? Don't get upset. So nobody's ever gotten upset, but whatever. Then we've got another Omnisphere instance loaded. That's track 2. So those are the 2 VSTs. This one is the Tuvan throat singers. Just going to walk away for a minute. This one doesn't loop. It's literally just a sample of this guy holding a note for much longer than I can. So it's like, I was fiddling around with choirs the other day, and I like the choir stuff, but I was like, threw away the children's choir and brought these guys in. And it's because it's a pure sample, if you translate it up, it does the Munchkin thing. Right. Not as good. Or maybe awesome, depending on what you're shooting for. But they basically have like a 1 octave range. Have I ever checked out Hunhur 2? I hope I'm saying that right. No, Andy, I don't know who that is, but I'll Google them. Or if you've got a link, post it in the Discord. But if you play, because it's just a sample that's getting stretched, if you play a lower note like this, it goes for a long time. Throat singing gnomes. Right. Put that through, a Valhalla reverb. It's like interesting. In isolation, it's a little weird, right? But if you play, it's pretty cool. I like it. Anyway. It is what it is. So we've got some Tuvan throat singers in here. These are out of Omnisphere, but you can find them. Those sample libraries are all over the place. Okay. Hey, Felix Dev. Let's see. Anyone else pop in real quick? It's all good. Let's see. The bass is the bass. That's not changing. Our Op6, our Korg Op6 is just playing a nice little saw lead. The xylophone pattern was the wave state, actually. All right, and I was just had a simple loop playing. The weird thing is, I didn't disassemble this patch, so I'm not sure if it's being driven by the sequencer, like the wave sequencer, or the arpeggiator. But if I sustain this for too long, it gets out of time. I'll have to investigate why that is. I don't think it was intended to be sustained for like 10 minutes. But if you play it in a relatively short loop, 4 bars or less, it'll stay in time. Right? I like that. Do you remember the film? I think this was in the 90s. It was called Sneakers, with like Robert Redford and Ben Kingsley and a really young River Phoenix when he was still alive, and a bunch of other guys. Dan Aykroyd, Sidney Poitier. It was like a heist movie, an ensemble cast heist movie, Sneakers. And it was about the MacGuffin they were chasing was a device, government conspiracy, device that could instantly decrypt everything. That was the MacGuffin. Great movie. Really, really good. The soundtrack to Sneakers was, I don't remember who did it. If someone wants to look it up, you can let us know. But basically, it had a whole lot of this. This reminds me of the Sneakers soundtrack. There was a lot of marimba, sort of Philip Glass kind of stuff. I don't think Philip Glass was the composer. Was it James Horner? It may have been. Skyer. Hey, good morning, Skyer. Really quick scanning. It's so funny when I'll be talking and I'll quickly scan the chat and I pause and people are like, "Are you having a seizure?" So, no, I'm not. Oh, it was James Horner. Okay. Anyway, great movie. It's a little dated now because it deals with technology. So when you watch it, like they didn't have like ubiquitous iPhones, smartphones and stuff in the movie. But the interesting thing, little factoid, at one point the main character is kidnapped, whatever, the bad guys want him, so they knock him out, he falls asleep, and he wakes up in a strange place, right? Well, the place he wakes up in, is a sort of like the apartment of the bad guy. And the apartment is cool and high tech. It's not their apartment, I think it's like his place of business, but anyway, it's like his lounge. And he wakes up on this thing that looks like a funky couch. It really looks like a couch from the 70s. And they never talk about it. It's just it's part of the set. It's the set dressing. Anyway, Robert Redford's the main character. He wakes up after getting kidnapped, and then he has the villain monologues, and they talk back and forth and things like that. But the thing he wakes up on is the cooling unit, and standing right next to it is the main unit for a Cray supercomputer, right? Which, I don't know if you've ever seen one of these. There's a whole line of Cray. Cray was the shit back, sorry. Oh man, try not to swear on stream. Cray was like, super hip in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. Less so. I don't even know if they make hardware anymore. Anyway, but he wakes up on the cooling unit of a Cray supercomputer, and they just treat it like it's a couch in the film. It's super cool from a nerd perspective. It's like, oh my god. Anyway, all right. So that's quite a tangent from Marimba Patch to James Horner's soundtrack for Sneakers to Cray supercomputer cooling unit. Welcome to Synth Seeker. Is HPE Hewlett Packard, Doug? I don't know who HPE is. Yes, Craig, 25 cents per. I will put the 20. So I know there are a few children that listen with their parents occasionally. So, anyway, sorry about that. Watch your language, kids. Let's see. Half the movie was in the back of a van, Kieran. Let's see. Steve liked that film too. All right, let me just catch up real quick. Anything? HPE bought them. Hewlett Packard Enterprises. Thanks, Doug. Quattro Bagina, good morning. They don't make movies like that anymore. They do, actually. So if you liked Sneakers, okay, another side. I know we'll get back to the synths in just a second. If you like the movie Sneakers, and if you like heist films in general, a recent film that I find just as entertaining in the same way as I found Sneakers is a film called Logan Lucky, which is probably 5 years old now, perhaps older. But it's a heist movie about a family stealing money from NASCAR in the south of the U.S. southern area. It's brilliant. Watch it. If you liked Sneakers, go watch Logan Lucky. Anyway, I hear from marimba and you think phone ringing. Nice, yeah. Well, then if you listen to the jam, you're getting a call there, Quattro Bagina. Yeah, Kieran. Never seen Sneakers. You should check it out, Andy. And it's pretty good. All right, cool. All right, we're talking about the first computers we ever saw. The first computer I ever saw was a TI 99-4A from Texas Instruments in a Kmart. And my father was there going through the records section. And the computer section was next to it. It's like records and then stereos and TVs. And they had this little aisle that was computers, and they had them up running as a demo. There was a TI there and I think a Coco or something like that. And some kid who was like bigger than me was typing on the computer. And I know now, he typed in a basic program that was like 10 print profanity, 20 go to 10, and then just ran it and walked away. So it's my first exposure to both computers, programming, and vandalism via digital vandalism. So anyway. All right, so let me kill this pattern that's running here. What else do we have in sound land today? This is the Modwave horn. Like I said, I'm into synth brass a little bit over the last couple of days. And then we've got our Strat running on the Summit. Right, we're talking Tangerine Dream style pluck. You know, what is the song from Risky Business? Something on a train. Naughty Business on a Train. And the same thing off the Hydrosynth. But a bit more, less Strat pluck and more horn pluck. All right, so those are what we're working with today. Oh, sorry. Oof, I'm draining. All right. Let's make a little more music here. All right. We'll go with the vibe. And we'll go with that, with this vibe. Doug says, I love the piano sound. Sounded like a Prophet 5 Pulse Width Mod preset. All right. Love on a Real Train. Thank you. All right, let's go. Oof, timing is terrible this morning. Let's just tweak it. Want to treat it like a happy accident? Let's tweak 2 of those. That'll work. Let's phase a variant on top of that. We'll do this. Unison for the first pass. There we go. What happens if we put a sequence on that marimba thing, even though it's arpeggiating? Experiment time. We'll change its length as well. Hang on, I'm prepping it to be shorter. Let's mix them. That works. We have no downbeat now, though. Right? We've got one that's 2 bars, one that's 2.5 bars, and one that's 1.5 bars. So we'll use the bass to reestablish a downbeat. And let's sustain that. That'll work. Oh, the rhythm. We didn't talk about the rhythm. So I'm going to bring the rhythm back in. I just have just a percussion loop. Let me bring it in. It's just 2 bars long, so it'll get really repetitive. Let's do this. Let's introduce a little variation into that rhythm loop. We'll cheat. Cheat is relative. So if I put this in isolation for a second, mostly isolation. If you listen to this loop, let's see if you can hear it. It's real faint. Let me turn the volume on it up. Can you hear it? There's like, I've got a beat repeat on it, doing like teeny little fills. It just fired again. I don't know if you can hear it. Let me see. See you, Grace. Anyway, let me bring these back. dead air there. Excuse me, I have a little indigestion. All right. So that's fun. I like doing that. That one's entertaining for me, at least. I hope it's entertaining for you guys. Let's see. All right, you all were talking about your first computers. C64. Oh, so many memories. I never owned a C64, but all of my friends did. I don't know. My parents were unconformists. Whatever. Let's see. Helical coil. Greetings. Anyone else popped in and I missed him, sorry. Let's see. Thanks for the pointer to Logan Lucky. A great heist film. Like one of the best. I'm not going to spoil it for you. Don't read any media about it. Just go watch it. Let's see. My vapes. Good morning. You say that like Ableton's like unlikely for making Berlin School my vapes. Some of this is some groovy Berlin School on Ableton no less. Well, thank you. Let's see. Craig and Quattropuccino. Elite Dangerous. Everyone loves that. I don't know anything about it. I am a console gamer. So, all right. So, what time is it? 5:48. I think we got time for one more. Let's see. Let's do... let's change the sounds around real quick. Let's do a slight selection change on patches. All right, we'll go with that. I'm going to get rid of the Tuvan, guys. Our Tuvan throat singers can go away. There's a nice texture. We'll go a little ambient for this last one, and then I'm going to call it a day. My father's coming over this morning for coffee and donuts. That's nice and subdued sustain. How well does it sustain? Let's see. I like that. We put the bass under it. Let's see. I should probably kill the old patterns. There we go. I'll clean up that note in a second manually. So I want the marimba stuff, but I want real sparse. And what happens if we go real high? I'm going to put it on the offbeat. And we'll do a 7 bar so it phases. Like this. Mess with the timing on that one. Hang on one second. I don't want that to phase. I'm going to let it stay as it is. So let's do a compy thing. We'll do little interval stabs. Like this. nose is dripping again. Hang on. Oh, Lord. Okay, let's try that again. That was terrible. Oh man, this is terrible. I don't want to do that. Let's do something short-ish and off on the ands. How about like that? What if we raise it an octave? Let's bring it up an octave. Nah, we'll leave it down. We'll just mix it in a little softer. Too much delay on that lead. I know, coming from me, that's crazy. Too much delay. Oh, and I want quarter notes on that too. That timbre here. Let's find a bitier lead here. There we go. All right, let's put a lead over this and we'll do some transpositions. listen to this one time through and then we'll do some transpositions. While we're listening, let's quickly scan the chat. If everybody's vibing, great. That seventh and the bass doesn't sound good. We won't go back here again. Doug Carmichael asks, how would you compare the Launchpad to the Push 3? Depends on which Launchpad. You have a Pro Mark 3. Okay. They're both very playable. I like the Launchpad Pro Mark 3. The Push is just more control surfaces, more control, knobs and things. They're both very good. I like the Launchpad because it's more portable and it'll control. It's a good DAW-less controller. When we're done here, I'll talk more about it, Doug. Hey, Wabbit. Doing transpositions on all the loops right now. Last pass through. And there we go. All right, let's put a little drone in here. This little sub. Is Audrey here? Audrey, this one's for you. Turn your sub on. I'm going to talk over it though, so it'll keep ducking. Okay, let's see, where are we? Okay, so Doug, you were asking, how's the Push 3 compared to the Launchpad Pro Mark 3? They are both isomorphic grid controllers, 8x8. They both have note mode, right? The Launchpad Pro also has chord mode. It's got a 4-track sequencer built in. It's a really great brain for a DAW-less rig. It also integrates really well with Ableton, allowing you to control a lot of the aspects of Ableton. It's an excellent controller. I have one. I use it all the time. I use it when I travel. I use it when I want to go to a friend's place and just take a grid. I don't carry the push around because it's too darn heavy. I mean, it's allegedly portable, but until before I had the Move, I used the Launchpad Pro exclusively. It was the only grid controller I used like on the couch for couch composing kind of stuff. It works great. I really like it. If you only had to choose one, I would probably get the Launchpad Pro Mark III, just because it's cost effective. It's like you can get them used for under $300, whereas the push is, the controller wants $1,000, right? And I don't even know what they go for used. If you have the Liquid, and you want the luxury, it's like buying cars, right? The Launchpad Pro Mark III is like, the relatively inexpensive sporty hatchback. It's great. You can haul stuff. It works fine. And the push is like a fancy sports car, or it's, if you have the means, it's nice, but it's a luxury. It's not a requirement. If you need a controller, I'd go with Launchpad Pro. So, my dog is outside the door crying. You guys want to say hi? I don't know. As soon as I open the door, he's going to run away because he wants breakfast. So yeah, see you, Wookie. Oh, I hear my wife talking to him. Yeah, no. She's got him. See, the thing is, he cries outside the door, and if I open the door, he's like, oh, it's breakfast time, and then runs away. It's like, if I close the door again, he'll be back in 2 minutes, crying at the door. Anyway. Keep your eye on the donut, not the hole. I've heard that recently. Did you say that in another stream, Gazinigons? So, my vape says meme tunes on YouTube. I'll check it out. Let's see, Kleptophonics. After watching some of your vids, I tried setting up my old Push 1 to work like your Launchpad. In combi with the Push 2, right. Didn't have much luck, though. Do you think two pushes can work together? I have tried to, this was more than 2 years ago, but I had two Push 2s, and they do not play well together because they both want to control Ableton Session, and you could try and tell them not to. I struggled with it, and I was never satisfied. So that's why I use the little Launchpad Pro on the side, the little Launchpad Mini on the side. So yeah, I don't know, Kleptophonics. They weren't intended to be used. Like if you go to the Ableton site, hit the frequently asked questions, I think that shows up as like, can I connect multiple pushes to one instance of Ableton? And they're like, no. Although you could, as long as we're talking about luxury, if you had, say, two computers, each running Ableton, connected via Ableton Link, they would like brainlessly follow each other, and they can each have a push connected to it. You could get away with that pretty easily. Like I've done that with friends, right? My friend has a push, I have a push. We basically put both our computers on the same network, turn on Ableton Link, and we're in sync, forever. It works great. James Sijack says, I'm trying and failing to use some of the Drumbeat impact sounds that I never use. FM drum, cowbell. How can you never use cowbell? Without having much luck. All right. Oh, you're talking about synchronizing? I may be I may not have contacts for that one, James. Push 1's going back to being a doorstop. Yeah, sorry, Kleptophonics. So Doug says, if you needed a smaller launch pad, would you get the Mini or the X? I would get the X. So it depends, right? The Mini doesn't have velocity sensitive pads. So the Mini is not for playing. I mean, you can play it in the same way you can play like the Synthstrom Deluge, right? You could play the Deluge. Its pads are not velocity sensitive, and you can pluck out a melody or a bass line or something like that on it. It is doable. It's very doable. But if you want any form of expression, if you want velocity, it doesn't do it. So your mileage may vary. The X, on the other hand, the X and Launchpad Pro Mark III have very similar pads. They feel and respond in the same way. The X requires you be connected to a computer via USB. The Launchpad Pro Mark III works fine DAW-less, and it's got a built-in sequencer. So hey, Morphing Orb. The Impact is a clock. Okay. You're talking about using the FM drum and cowbell as like a clock out. All right, that's cool. Anyway, so we're done. It's 6:11. For people who just showed up, I'm sorry, you'll have to scroll back and get the earlier stuff. We had the Tuvan throat singers in the first couple of bits. You know, always fun. It's day 26 of January. Only a few days left. And then I was going to talk a bit about like what's next, like what am I going to do next, but I'll leave that to tomorrow or the day after. Okay. You guys have a great Sunday. All right. I'm going to hang out with my dad and my wife. There's some serious football on today, and that's about it. All right. So have fun. I'll talk to you all later. All right, no last minute questions sneaking in. Cool. Thanks, gang. Talk to you later. Bye.